And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I want to take 30 seconds out as everyone rev their engines up to ask each and every one tuning in on Facebook right now, please, we beg of you to start sharing to all your friends. Let's build up our audience. The show is about personal injury and immigration. So if you know of people who would be interested in this, please share on their pages, share in the groups. We are also asking you to join some groups, groups of personal injury, groups in immigration, or just groups in your culture or whatever it is that you are into. And please share. Once again, my name is David Squeezaniki, and I'm here with a few attorneys this morning that's going to be speaking on personal injury and immigration law. Have yourself an amazing Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you that in advance. Adam Handler happens to be my personal injury attorney. Conrad Pollack happens to be my immigration attorney. Good morning, gentlemen, and how are you all doing today?
Good morning. Good morning.
All good. Getting ready for the big Labor Day weekend. Looks like the weather's going to be nice, and one of the last chances this year to get outdoors and enjoy this beautiful weather.
Operative word there is big. How big will it be, Adam? What do you think?
How big will it be?
Yeah, how big will this Labor Day weekend be? It's a historical one. There's so many things.
We'll see. I mean, first of all, they say that everybody should be just as diligent with social distancing and masks as ever before. They're like fearful for this holiday, but we'll get through it. And I can't believe the summer's over. When we started this, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, good morning. This is Adam Handler, your case handler, and you are officially cruising with the case handler. 93.5 FM listeners, Facebook viewers, thanks so much for tuning in. But when we first started this cruising with the case handler earlier this year, and then we hit the quarantining with the case handler, I never could have imagined the success that this show would have, the impact it would have, and the amazing response that we've had from the community. We've been giving free consultations over the phone since March, right? I don't know any other law firm.
Reaching it on the web go is a good one.
I don't answer the call. No,
one second, guys. Sorry. I am so sorry about that. That's my other Zoom session. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna log off. My Wi-Fi's messed up. You guys take control of this show for a few minutes.
Okay, that's Adam Handler right there.
Well, hold my calls, okay?
How are you otherwise, Conrad? And let me. I don't know if you saw that movie where the guy says, "I want my $2. I want my PPID mug." All right. I want. All right.
Well, you're gonna have to talk to Ruthie about that. They're a very limited supply. We gave one to I forget. I don't know, 4 or 5 of them. 2 of them are broken already. They dropped them. I don't know. So they're these will be collector's items one day, ladies and gentlemen. One day these will be worth a lot of money. These PPID cups.
There you go. All right. Maybe I'll encourage him to give them away for free. Get them in trouble here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, maybe we'll start a new promotional campaign. With the free consultation, you get a free PPID mug.
That is true. Hey, you never know. You never know. By the way, folks, the number for the firm happens to be 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. 844-774-3529. Anything you want to bring us up to speed on, Conrad, when it comes to immigration?
Well, because the election is now in full gear and the race to the presidency, there's less talk about immigration. The immigration conflict, let's call it, or the issue, has kind of taken a back seat to all the other stuff that's going on. If you remember, 2 years ago, the election, our president was yelling about all the immigrant hordes and caravans that were about to storm the border and invade the suburbs. Remember that 2 years ago? And then all of a sudden, after the election was over, these marauding caravans of illegal immigrants across the border, they disappeared. This time, I guess he has other issues that he can scream about, like plane loads of people in black outfits, with all kinds of riot gear, getting ready to storm the neighborhood. Instead of the immigrants, it's these dark forces on airplanes coming to invade the suburbs. It's always something. Right? Oh. Give the guy credit. He's got an imagination. He does have a vivid imagination.
Crazy, great, crazy guys. The Orange Man, ladies and gentlemen. And,
Yeah.
you know, but, you know, we're here and we want to remind people that if they need to file their cases, Conrad, that they actually should file their cases now because of the fees going up.
Well, relative to that, yeah, filing fees are going up substantially on October 2nd. There's a lawsuit currently pending in federal court to stop the implementation of the increased filing fees, but I don't see a lot of hope in that happening. It might affect a couple of the particular filing fees. You know, for instance, you know, for the first time in our history, we're charging a $50 fee for people that are applying for political asylum. And, you know, $50 might not seem a lot of money, like a lot of money to us or the average person. But, you know, you're a refugee, you know, who knows where you were living or in some refugee camp, or you're an asylum applicant that just crossed the desert. You know, $50 is a lot of money. And the only, I mean, $50 is nonsense in terms of the scheme of things, in terms of what the government collects. But it's meant, of course, of one further small way to dissuade applicants from applying for political asylum. You know, it's just one more thing. But anyway, about the filing fees, they are going up. I'm not optimistic that this lawsuit that's pending is going to stop that from happening. Maybe it'll delay it. I doubt it. Point here is, folks, you want to file your cases now. There's no reason to wait. I know a lot of people, I've spoken to clients, you know, I'm waiting to see what happens in the election. You know, if Trump wins, and I think I'm not gonna do the case, I'm not gonna bring my kids, or I'm gonna go back to Jamaica or whatever it is. You know, first off, Trump's not winning, right? Biden is gonna win, and Biden has all kinds of great ideas about immigration, make a return to normalcy, I like to say. And there is no reason to wait. There is absolutely no reason to wait to file your cases. You should file regardless of who wins, number one, because then you get online. Right, your case in line, and who knows what's going to happen, you know, going forward. But get your case in, you'll be online, and at least it's there. There's nothing they could do once your application is filed. You paid the money. In addition, you don't want to file the case yourself. You want to have an experienced attorney, an experienced law firm like ours that we've been practicing immigration law now for 35, 36 years. Some of us more than that. And yeah, we know what we're doing. And if nothing else, you need to look at it as an insurance policy. You know, we've talked about this time and time again. There was somebody we spoke to on the radio on Monday who filed a case on her own. The case was, they filed it 5 to 10 years ago, waiting all this time. And it was ready to, everything was ready back in September, except they missed something. The document was missing, whatever. It got delayed until this year. And what happened? Trump, first the pandemic comes and all the consulates get shut down, which obviously nobody can help. And then Trump comes up with a travel ban. The travel ban right now is valid until the end of the year. But if he gets reelected, it's going to be extended indefinitely is my guess. So these people, though, if they had come to a lawyer like ours, you know, a law firm like ours, instead of that case taking whatever number of years it took her, we would have done the case in half the time. I don't remember the exact details, but we would have done the case in less than half the time. And her son, who she was applying for, instead of waiting now, potentially, who knows how many more years, he'd be here. You know, he'd be here. So, and we see these types of stories every single day. It's always people calling, hey, I did the case myself. My neighbor said I could do it myself because they did it themselves. They didn't need a lawyer. They didn't have to spend the money. You know, now it's lost or screwed up or denied, or they're asking for a lot more documentation. They're asking for proof of my income and I'm not working now. You know, what can I do? We see it day in and day out. And it's, you know, it's sad because it's so unnecessary. You know, it's so unnecessary. Point here, filing fees are going up. File your case, number one. Number two, call us. Let us do it. Don't do it yourself. Immigration is a minefield. It really is, more so than ever. Don't do it yourself. Give us a call. It doesn't cost you anything to call us. You know, we'll tell you whether you have a case or not, and we'll tell you if we can help you. Call us.
And the consultation, once again, is free. After that, you hire Conrad and his team. The number to call, ladies and gentlemen, to get that free phone consultation, please call before the top of the hour. The number is 844-774-3529. Call right now if you want that free phone consultation with one of the attorneys. 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPID. IDLAW. That's 844-774-3529. That's Conrad Pollack, the maestro on, of course, immigration, ladies and gentlemen. Let's flip it over to my colleague here that was having a little bit of a technical issue, but I think it has been resolved. I can
Partially resolved. I'm on my cell phone right now. Usually I do this from my computer, but I'm sitting on my front steps and doing the show, cruising with the case center. You know, some people call it the front stoop, but
sitting on the stoop.
it's funny. It's funny. I had a client years ago, Jamaican guy, and they asked him at his deposition, you had knee injuries. And they asked him at his deposition, give us some examples of things you can't do anymore or do as well anymore. I'd be like, I can't stoop. And we were saying, what the hell is he talking about? What does stoop mean? Stoop, I guess, is to like kneel, kind of like kneel, sit down. Does that sound about right to you? Stooping is
bending your knee trying to sit down.
yeah, bending your knee trying to sit down. That's stooping. And he said he couldn't do it. Yet during the deposition, he gets up and does it. Oh, this is stooping right here. Well, this I said if you can't do it, don't do it. So ever since then, that was years and years ago. That was a funny story. You know, clients, yeah, they can kill you sometimes. They can make or break you. Yeah, I can't stoop. And then all of a sudden they're like, what's stooping? And then he gets up and stoops. So there you go. So yeah, listen, we had an exciting day yesterday. I didn't even get to share the good news with my partner Conrad. You know, we settled a case yesterday for $29,000, right? $29,000 tax-free money for a client of ours. But that's not the biggest part. The biggest part is that officially put us over $18 million for the year for case handler clients at Pollack, Isaac, Zico. Conrad, we're over $18 million in settled cases for our clients this year. Can you imagine?
That's awesome. Maybe you could pay me that $100 you owe me now.
Never. Never. But all kidding aside, that's big time money. Those are sick numbers considering we're doing it basically with just a Wi-Fi connection. The courts are still physically closed for business. They are open virtually, kind of doing what we're doing here over on Zoom and Face. For those of you listening on 93.5 FM right now, please, if you can safely do so later, check out Case Handler on Facebook. Check out Case Handler on Instagram. Be connected to this social media world that we're involved in, because it truly is a wonderful thing and a great way to be connected to our practice, to see what we're doing, see how we're treating clients, see how we're giving back to the community that's embraced us for so many years. And you'll see a lot of smiling faces. It is all good. $18 million handed over to our clients this year. And those clients had one chance to get it right. One chance. No redos in personal injury cases, Squeeze. So they had one chance to get it right, and they had one choice of lawyer. And you know who they chose?
The case handler, the shark.
Of course they did. And that's 18. I'll give you 18 million reasons why that's a great idea.
I think 125 million.
Yeah. Well, we're probably about 126 now. So it's all good, baby.
Probably about that, right? Well, check the numbers, man. I love screaming out those numbers for each and everyone that's out there. We're speaking with Adam Handler, the personal injury attorney. But Adam, before you even finish, man, I know you're on your phone. I still need for you to speak about a true success story.
Sure. Why don't you give me? There's so many. Give me a type of case, or give me something that you would find to be interesting.
I'll tell you what. I need for you to speak on a malpractice case.
Sure, a malpractice case. Well, one of the most important malpractice cases we've ever worked on is that malpractice case involving the ICE detainee. I've been watching that Immigration Nation on Netflix. It's hard for me to get through because it really is, really is a tough watch. But it's important. It's an important thing for people to watch. But I was hearkening back to that case we had against ICE. We had a gentleman that turned himself in. He was facing deportation proceedings, and while he was in ICE detainment, which we're seeing now is can run indefinitely. You go in to be detained, you never know when you're going to get out. It's ridiculous. But he started complaining of stomach pain and started complaining of not feeling well and throwing up, and they ignored him. And they ignored him for months and months and months and months. And finally, somebody got off their ass and sent them out for a GI consultation. and he had stage 4 stomach cancer. The infirmary in the jail was the target here. That's who we went after. Very difficult case though, because of all the immunity that to
Up a little bit
respect to prisoners, but we $745,000 in that case. He wound up passing away from cancer, unfortunately, but $700,000. I mean, that was a case I remember when we got to court, the judge basically congratulated us on getting that far. He's like, most of these cases are dismissed, you know, within a few weeks you filing that complaint. And I remember talking to Conrad for a while on this case, and we kept grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding. And it was a hard-fought battle, and the family was ever so grateful. They were expecting to get nothing out of it, and they got $745,000 tax-free.
Nice. You are the man, Adam. That's clear.
Hey, listen, we do our thing, Conrad. I'm proud to be part of this team. You know, ladies and gentlemen, you see us on the radio, but you really, maybe during brighter days, you'll have to see us in real life. What we do here at our office at 225 Broadway on the 3rd floor is really nothing short of amazing. We have such a great staff. We've got great partners. We've got great associates, and everybody really enjoys what they do. And when you enjoy what and you're it, the clients benefit. That's really what it comes down to. Whether it's an immigration case, you know, Conrad and his team legalizing your status in the United States, or my team, you know, getting you that maximum compensation for your medical bills, getting you the maximum compensation for your time out of work, and then getting you compensation for what you've been through, your pain and suffering. That's what we do. And we go for the maximum because there are no redos. We want happy clients because this is a referral-based business. You're only as good as your last case. And if you're not towing the line and you're not getting the results for the clients, you think your phones are going to ring? I don't care how much radio time you have. I don't care how many Facebook shows. I don't care how big your billboard is. If you're not a good lawyer and you don't treat your clients like family, like we do, you're going to be very short-lived in this game.
Absolutely true. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Handler, your personal injury attorney right here on the show. Give him a call at 844-774-3529. If you ever get hurt in an accident, you want the ultimate, the greatest, okay, the most celebrated attorney on this station handling your case. And his name is Adam Handler. Call him at 844-774-3529. Dial that number, let it ring now for 10-15 seconds, and store the number in your device, in your phone. 844-774-3529. 844-774-3529. Now, Conrad, are you ready for some questions?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's switch it.
I answer immigration questions in my sleep. You know, when my wife wakes me up in the morning, she says, "And what's the priority date on that first preference case again?" That's the first thing she says to me.
Right, that's what she says, huh?
He eats these questions for breakfast, man.
I can see that. I just spoke to him about that cup, that we're gonna have a fight. He's a very tall guy, but I still you know?
Adam broke. I think it was Adam that broke his.
Yeah.
I still got my mug.
Okay. All right. So let's get to the immigration questions here on Cruising with a Case Handler, a show on personal injury and immigration, where you can call the law firm Pollack, Isaac and DeSico, PPID, at 844-774-3529. 844-PPID law. Let's get to the first immigration question. Is the affidavit of support needed while filing the I-130 through USCIS, or do we need it when the I-130 gets approved?
The answer is no. You don't need the affidavit of support when you're filing your I-130. When you file the I-130, that's beginning the case. The I-130 is the immigrant relative petition, just in case people are not aware. You file the I-130, that begins the process. So if you're applying for your kid or your wife, you file the I-130 with immigration. Typically, depending on the type of case it is, it can take anywhere from 6 to 8 months or a couple of years to get approved. Once it's approved, the file gets sent to the National Visa Center by the Immigration Service. That's the NVC is an arm of the State Department. They then begin preparing for the visa interview whenever that's going to take place, and that's when you submit the I-864 with the tax returns and proof of support and so on.
And
That's
for the
important.
people out there that don't know, that an affidavit of support is what? You just proof that you'll be able to take care of the person that you're bringing over?
Immigrants are presupposed by the government to not be able to support themselves when they come here. So it's up to the applicant to prove that they can support themselves. And the way they do that is with an affidavit of support or affidavits from multiple people, depending on the income, showing that, okay, hey, my husband is going to support me when I get here, or my employer is going to support me when I get here because I have a job offer or the like. That's how it works.
Yeah, she just added, my spouse is unemployed and a student. The rest of the family members are unemployed too. Can her uncle sign the affidavit of support? She's
Yes.
with 4 family members.
Uncle can do it. Hopefully he's making enough money. The amount of support that's required depends on the size of the family. The size of the family that he's sponsoring, meaning her and her husband, and if they have any kids as well, that's taken into account, and the family of the uncle. If he has 6 kids, for instance, let's say the uncle, wife, he has 4 kids. That's 6 people there. Let's say this applicant also, it's her husband, and they have 2 kids. That's 10 people. They have to demonstrate. The uncle has to demonstrate that he makes enough money to support 10 people. And there's a chart. There's a poverty guideline that's issued by the government every year that determines that amount.
What is the minimum amount to show?
It depends on the size of the family. It's hard to say. And it changes every year as well.
All right. So that's the reason why you should call PPID at 844-743-529.
That's probably one of the most common questions we get when people call us, people like this person doing it themselves. They get to the NVC level, and that's where they get stuck. You hear it all the time on the radio. You hear people calling in. I filed my case. I'm at the National Visa Center, and I'm unemployed. How do I do the 864? How do I do the affidavit of support? It's probably the most common question we see. And now it's going to become more and more difficult. There is that new public charge law that right now is on hold in New York, not the rest of the country, but in New York, it's on hold. If it comes back, if Trump gets reelected, it comes back. People are going to really suffer with as a result of that rule. All right, we're not really talking about it much now because it doesn't apply in New York, which is where most of our callers are coming from right now.
Okay. All right. Question 2 here on the cruising with the case handler showing personal injury and immigration. I have a question about my unabridged birth certificate that I need to apply for my marriage green card. I changed my last name to my mom's maiden name when I was about 21. My birth certificate would have my dad's last name, which I was born with. I am in the process of obtaining my birth certificate from the South African government. Would I fill in my application for the birth certificate with my current last name or my last name that I was born with? I have
First off, I have no idea what the law is in South Africa, so I couldn't begin to answer. I wouldn't even think to answer questions about how to complete the application for South Africa, number 1. Number 2, you better be prepared to submit as much documentation as possible demonstrating who you are. I would submit everything you have showing what your name was, what your name is, what your name will be, with as much documentation as possible with a letter explaining exactly how it works. My strong suggestion here, because normally spouse case is about as simple as it gets unless there are 15 divorces on either side, but you need a lawyer. Something like this, you're going to waste time. You're going to go back and forth. This is not the type of thing you want to handle yourself. Look, the South African thing, get your documents together. That's fine. I guarantee you immigration is going to give you a hard time when you submit that petition.
Gotcha. That's Conrad Pollack answering those questions. Got another one here. It says, I've got the request for evidence, the RFE letter from the USCIS. The principal applicant's name appeared in the RFE letter like MDXYZ, but applicant's name appeared in the passport like XYZ. How to deal with that issue? I don't even understand.
You need an affidavit. You need to submit affidavits explaining what the situation is. Again, these are people that are doing the cases themselves, and this is the type of stuff that happens. It's always happened, but it happens more often than ever before. If you leave a blank on a form, they're going to kick it back now, and they might deny it. If you leave instead of just filling in information like NA, not applicable, you leave it blank, they're going to deny your case. They're going to at least send it back. Something like this, I don't know why they did what they did or what the right name is or what it should be, but you need to provide affidavits, and most people don't know how to provide an affidavit. That's why you need a lawyer. That's why guys like me are around.
I say get an attorney. That's what I'm saying. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, 844-774-3529. One more question, Conrad, and then I'm going to ask Adam to top it off with some personal history. Is it possible to apply for the H-1B visa or the J-1 visa while the CR-1 visa is being processed? My husband's dad can get me a job or internship at his firm in the spring. Granted, the US government allows these two visas again in the new year, but would be able to do if we apply for the CR-1 now, meaning it will be in process when I'd be applying and working on one of the two mentioned visas?
H-1B, yes. J-1, no. I mean, this is a fairly complex situation, but to keep it quick and simple here, first off, she's applying CR1. That means her husband's a U.S. citizen, is applying for her to get a green card, right? Conditional resident, that's CR1. She gets a green card, she'll have it for 2 years, she'll extend it after that, fine. In the interim, which, by the way, you apply for a CR1, the case shouldn't take more than a year or so if it's done right. Going to the visas, number one, she's applying for a green card. That means she's an intending immigrant. She's demonstrated immigrant intent. To get a J1, you have to demonstrate the opposite. To get a J1, you have to show a non-immigrant intent, that you're not coming here to live. Therefore, J1 is out. She can't do a J1. Don't waste your time. Number two, the H-1B. For H-1B, you don't need a non-immigrant intent. For an H-1B, you can have what's called dual intent. At the same time, simultaneously have an intent to immigrate to the United States through marriage, get a green card, and have a temporary intent just to work here temporarily. The H-1B allows that. It's one of the few visas that allows that. So she can apply for an H-1B while she's applying for the green card, yes. But H-1B is a subject to a quota. That's no news. It's always been the case. She applies for an H-1B this time around. She applies April 1st. If she gets it under the quota, she doesn't get it until October 1st next year. If she's applying for a green card, if she's already applied, if it's done right, she should have a green card by October. And not need the H-1. But the fact is, she applies for an H-1, she's not getting it for a year.
Gotcha.
Today.
Okay. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say tune in each and every single weekday morning at 9:30. Phone number for the attorney, or attorneys rather, is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Adam, are you down with PPID?
Am I down? I've been down with PPID for 6 years, man. You've been down with PPID for since the beginning of the year, and I love it. Yes, PPID, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. We are a full-service law firm here in Manhattan. We got offices in Peekskill, offices in Brooklyn. I personally handle the injury cases. That's why they call me the case handler. Conrad handles the immigration cases. He does his thing. I do my thing. But you know what? When we work together, it's certainly a beautiful thing. And any legal issue you got, we got a legal solution. And good news for everybody out there is that the phone call, how much do we charge for the phone call, Squeeze? I forget these days.
$0.
$0. So anybody out there that has a question, whether it's personal injury, immigration, matrimonial, criminal, real estate, business, give us a call. You got nothing to lose. We're throwing it out there. 100% free phone consultations. It would make no sense to sit there and not know where you stand with a certain legal issue. So we're happy to help. We want to help, and we've got thousands and thousands of people that have been very, very happy with the services of our firm. Absolutely.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that's Adam Handler, Conrad Pollack. We are here doing Cruising with the Case Handler. And I want for everybody, tune in every single day. I mean, on Saturdays, between the hours of 6 and 8 p.m., I actually talk about the law firm a few times between 6 and 8 p.m. And I do appreciate the responses that we've been getting on Saturdays and also on Sundays. So tune in every single day. As a matter of fact, you don't even need to wait for us to go live to check us out. More than likely, your questions can be found in one of our shows on Facebook. You can go on Adam Handler's page, the Case Handler. You can go on my page, David Squeezaniki, the firm's page, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. Just type in PPID. And you may just find your question there. I think Conrad and his team, they've answered just about every possible question, almost anyway.
What just about? We've answered every single question. There has not been one question in the last 6 months that we've been on this radio that we've not been able to answer. There have been circumstances where the person doesn't give us enough information, so we can't.
That's what I meant. Every kind
of answer it fully, but fact is, we have not been stumped. All right.
Yep.
There is not one question that my team, myself included, has not been able to answer. Not one.
And that's
by the way,
and that's the
I will tell you that is never going to happen. I've been doing this for 36 years. All right. There is no immigration scenario that I have not seen more than once.
That's the reason why no one is going above the third floor anymore.
Yeah, listen,
Right.
they want a winner, but they also want somebody that's competitive. And I got to tell you, in all the years that I know Conrad, he doesn't like to lose. So he will find a way to win that case for you.
Yeah,
Trust
he's
me.
giving away free phone consultations. You know, the guy is serious about this. Anyway, listen, ladies and gentlemen, prior results do not guarantee similar outcome. Thank you all so much for tuning in. But I want everyone to dial the firm now, get a free phone consultation right this second. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529.
It's 10 o'clock.
All right. Talk about confidence. You know, talk about confidence from Conrad there. All right. Anyway, want to say thanks to each and every one for actually tuning into us, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday. We want everybody to have an amazing Labor Day weekend. What are you going to be doing, Adam?
Just spending time with friends and family. I have some family coming over today. My grandmother is turning 96, so we're going to have her over for lunch. She's unbelievable. I mean, she is. I got to have her on the show one day because she is just amazing. She was actually a paralegal for decades in the 50s and 60s. So she's got a lot of legal experience herself. My whole family's, attorneys. Attorneys are teachers. It's in my blood. Same with Conrad. His dad, started the firm. This is all we know, and this is why we're so passionate about it because we've been since we were small children. We've seen how our parents, how the people we look up to, have treated people and helped people, and that's just the way we do it, man. We are very, very passionate about what we do. This show is fun, but the legal work we partake in is serious business because we understand that it's not life or death, but in some ways it could be. I'm sure Conrad has had.
That's right. Sometimes it may not be exactly life and death, but then it's the next closest thing.
Yeah, if you can't keep this person in the United States, they may have very big problems, and their family will have very big problems.
Just adding to that, again, my dad. You're right. My dad was an immigration lawyer before me, and I grew up ever since I was a kid. I never really thought of doing anything but following my father's footsteps and becoming an immigration lawyer, which I did back in the 80s. And unfortunately, he passed away soon after. But that's been in our bloodline, for a long, long time. And I'm assuming one of my kids eventually will take up the mantle as well. But one thing that I want to throw out there, look, clearly, if you're listening, you can tell that I know what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't mince words. I mean, there are very few scenarios that I haven't seen, if any. But something to understand too, our firm isn't like a lot of other firms where we will just take any case that walks in the door. That is never the case here. We will assess your case. We will see if there's an answer, if there's a solution. And if there is, we'll try to get it done for you and we'll quote you a fee and hopefully it'll work out. We can't promise success. I mean, you never know, but generally speaking, much more often than not, we are successful. On the other hand, if you don't have a case, we will tell you, I'm sorry, but you don't have a case. And sometimes clients don't want to hear that. Sometimes people, just like you go to a doctor, people go to 5 different doctors until they find out from the one doctor, they get the answer they want to hear. You don't have cancer. 4 doctors say you have cancer. You find one that's a quack that says you don't. And then unfortunately, you're dead in a year. That happens. Same with lawyers, not the same fact patterns, but there are plenty of lawyers out there that you will walk into their office, regardless of the facts, whether they know the facts or not. Will tell you, give me $1,000, I can take care of it. And then you chase them down for the next year. What's going on in my case? Or they disappear entirely. And these are all scenarios we've all seen and heard over the years. Number one, PPID is never going to disappear. We've been in our current location for 40 years plus. Number two, as I said, everybody knows what they're doing. I pride myself on hiring the most qualified people that I can find. That applies to the immigration department, and it applies to my partners. It applies to anyone that I associate with, even if we refer attorneys out for, I don't know, Social Security issue. We're not going to send you to somebody unless we know for a fact that that person knows what they're doing and they're going to be able to help you. Because even when we refer somebody outside our firm, that our feeling is that reflects on us. Even if that
Absolutely.
person, if that person doesn't know what they're doing, but we referred them, we take it personally. It reflects on us. It reflects badly on us. So we don't ever take a chance in that regard in terms of people, the professionals we have working in the firm. As I said, we will not take your case if you don't have one. I will not take your money if you don't have a case. That's not very common in the immigration field these days, trust me. And I'm sure a lot of you people listening out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Very common, unfortunately. That said, it's Labor Day weekend, should be a nice weekend, and hopefully we'll spend it outdoors and I'm going to try. I've made a promise to myself not to look at any political stuff and not to have any arguments with my family, although my family is all anti-Trump, so we don't argue. Everybody in my family is on the same page, luckily. We all hate Trump. But hey, it's going to be a beautiful weekend, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for doing this great show on personal injury and immigration. I want to say thanks to all the viewers on Facebook, Linda, Denisha, everybody, Carol Anderson, everybody for sharing also. We do appreciate you, gentlemen, and we'll catch up with you again on Monday live, but we'll be on over the weekend in retrospect and with me.
Well, Monday's Labor Day. I don't know if I'm waking up. But,
Tuesday. I'm sorry.
Play a rerun for once. We're live every day. Play a rerun.
Tuesday it is, gentlemen. And with that said, happy Labor Day to everybody. We're out for now. Peace out. And we're all down with PPID.
You know me.
There you go. 844-774-3529.